Okay, now that I've made my coffee, I'm gonna make breakfast. And I am gonna have a simple breakfast of bagel, eggs, bacon, some V8, and I'm gonna show you how I cook that in the van. It's a little bit different than I would at home because I don't have a toaster in here. I have this. This is a plain old traditional camping toaster. And a lot of people buy these and try them and hate them. I find that they work pretty well for bagels. So basically, you unlock this and these grates come up. Like that. And it makes a stand. And you put that right on the burner. And you actually want to preheat this a bit. Because it's not the flame that heats the bread, it is the plate. The plate at the bottom right here, that gets hot and that radiates heat up for the bagel. But where's my bagel? Aha, here's my bagel. So it's an uncut bagel, which makes it stay fresh longer, but a friend of mine gave me these knives many years ago. It's called Wiltshire Staysharp. I've had them for 20 years at least, and there's a knife sharpener in here. So sharpen it up, and it acts as a scabbard too. So it's kind of a good thing for living in a van. Kind of hard to show this on here, but I'm going to cut this on a cutting board. As evenly as I can. And then you just place them right on here. And this is going to happen very quickly. It toasts much quicker on here than it would at home. So you're going to need some tongs, because it's not a bad idea to kind of rotate. They do tend to get hotter at the bottom. Unlike a regular toaster though, you can just watch and see how they're doing. Now I only have one burner, and my end goal of this is going to be to make an egg sandwich. So I'm going to toast the bagels first so I have a place to put the bacon and eggs when they're done. Okay, that's fairly well toasted. We're going to go with that. Now these are going to be set aside and used later. Turn this off. It will come as no surprise to you that this thing now is super, super hot. So you have to be very careful where you put it. We're going to swap this, put it right on this trivet, and let that cool off over there, and we'll move to the frying pan. When I'm out in the van for just a few days and the temperatures are moderate, it's not getting super hot, there's two things I don't refrigerate that I normally do at home. One is eggs. Now in the US, eggs are washed and they're supposed to be refrigerated. But in a van, you can get away with a couple of days without refrigerating them. And since I have a small fridge, I like to save the space. And I've had no problems doing this. The other thing is the bacon. This bacon is pre-cooked. It costs a little bit more, but it's much easier to deal with. It's not as slimy, there's less cleanup, and all I basically have to do is heat it up. And on a sandwich, there really isn't that much difference. The other thing is butter. Butter does not need to be refrigerated. It can go moldy or maybe get rancid over long periods of time if it's not refrigerated, but over the course of a few days, it really doesn't need to be refrigerated. And sure, you're always going to be safer refrigerating anything, but in practice, you really can just leave it out and it'll be just fine, and also it'll be softer, which is nice. I like to cook the bacon first, and you might be thinking it's odd to put the bacon in butter, but there's a reason for that. It's because I can't butter my bagel when it's hot, when the eggs are hot. I have this problem where I can't have two hot things at once because I only have one stove. So I will actually heat up the bacon in butter, and then this whole thing is going to go onto the bagel and be the butter for the bagel. So it'll be a little bit of bacony butter, but again, this is pre-cooked, so it doesn't have all the fat coming off of it that it does if it's raw. So 3 pieces should be enough. It's actually more than generous. Yeah, I think 3 is plenty. Okay. Now again, I'm just heating this up. It's not really cooking, so this only takes a moment. All right, so there you see that. That's ready to put on the bagel. I turn this off as often as I can, simply to save gas and for safety reasons. And if you're wondering about ventilation in here, this door is cracked open. There's a vent right here that I would normally have on, except that I'm recording and it makes noise. And there is this big door open behind you that you can't see. Okay. So I've kind of got a bacon and butter sandwich here, but I'm going to add the egg in just a moment. I've left enough of the grease in here that the eggs can just go in here and I don't have to add any more butter. Bring this back up. Ready for business. Now this is a hearty breakfast. I'm going to have 2 eggs. Now, I'm not the world's greatest egg cook. I hardly ever can get them cooked properly, but as long as I can get them in the pan and they're edible, it's good enough for me. Cheers. So I have folded it over almost like an omelet, and that's for 2 reasons. One is I'm terrible at flipping eggs. The other is it actually makes it a good shape to put on the bagel. And then flip it over again because I hate runny whites. Gonna add a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt. And yes, every time I can grab condiments, I do. And I think we're coming along here. So this should be a little bit runny yolk, but not entirely. Turn this off. All right, and now onto my bacon. I will place the egg and then cover it with that bagel, and voila. And I have a bagel, egg, and bacon sandwich in the van. Not that it was too difficult, but it's the little things. And there you have it. That is my breakfast. I'm enjoying it out here in the lovely Indiana Dunes State Park in this March that is unseasonably warm. Got my V8 so I can pretend that I'm being healthy. And my cup of coffee. And my bagel sandwich. I hope you are having as delightful a breakfast as I am. Cheers!